Hello, I'm Mal, and welcome to Mal's Assassin Simulator, or Democracy 3, right? If that gives you any indication of how this game's been going for me. Oh, man. Okay, Democracy 3 is a simulation game about building a stable government and keeping yourself in power, managing to get reelected. I have managed to just repeatedly get myself assassinated by pissing everyone off. Not intentionally, but that has been my experience thus far. But I think this is kind of a fun game. It's interesting in the way the information is presented, and I wanted to show you guys this. So let's take a look. I'm going to do this as a let's try, and then depending on feedback, I may do a longer playthrough. Of course, the longer playthrough would be predicated on my ability to stay alive for longer than a couple of years. So we'll see. All right, let's start a new game. All right, so the first thing you're presented with is which country that you want to handle. And they each have different challenges. I am Australia, Canada, the US, Germany. I'm gonna try United Kingdom this time. Okay, so now let's label our party. We're gonna be let's see, the Mal movement. I just realized what that rhymes with. Oh, that's appropriate. So it'll be the Mal movement, and the opposition party will be the Bowel movement. Okay, now the reason I say that is because, first off, this is a game, so let's not get too deep into, and it is a political game, but I don't want to get in too deep on the what stances does such and such have in a big debate or whatever. I mean, you guys can debate all you want as long as you keep it clean on the comments and whatnot. But you know, I just wanted to show you this and have some fun. Okay, so let's not get too deep. Okay, so the Mal movement is one party against the Bowel movement, which is the other party. Oh, geez. Okay, so you can set your turn length, the number of turns. We'll say no limit. If you want extra disasters and whatnot. Then you have political apathy, so you know, essentially how many people are interested, how many people will vote. I'm going to set that up just a tad. And then I'm going to leave the difficulty at 100, and then you guys can see how quickly I go away. Because what happens is, as you upset people, different factions within the country will actually support groups that are violent, and eventually you do get assassinated, which has been my experience thus far. But not this time. This time I'm going to be pro at this. All right, congratulations on your victory. Welcome to your new job as Prime Minister. So here are the key areas: education, poverty, crime, health, GDP, and unemployment. These are the key things that we're having to deal with right now. Clearly, having a gross domestic product in the red is bad. Unemployment being high and in red is bad. And then all of these are in yellow. Also not so great, right? So we have to address these. And the way that you do it is via this web. When you highlight over a section, and this looks really overwhelming, and it is at first, but after a while you get used to the interface, and I really like the way this information is displayed. At first I was like, what? This is crazy. But you get used to it pretty quick. So as an example, let's go over here and take a look at the GDP, okay? So, or uncompetitive economy is what's affecting the GDP, right? So here in this section, you can see in the background it says economy. Over here it says welfare. Here it says foreign policy. Here it says transportation, law and order, public services, and tax. Okay, so those are the different sections. And then you just hover over one that's highlighted in red, and it'll tell you what it's affecting. So having an uncompetitive economy is affecting our gross domestic product. It's lowering our support of the capitalists in our country. And then it shows you what feeds that. So productivity is what's feeding the uncompetitive economy. In other words, we're not doing well in GDP because our productivity is bad. So why is our productivity bad? Well, for one, we have an asthma epidemic. So we have a health problem. So that's the environment and car usage. Okay, so, what the heck am I going to do with that? Well, we'll get back to that in a second. I just want to show you kind of how you look at the massive information at the front. Here are our constituency bases. So when you hover over one of these, it tells you who is what. So like the capitalists here, like they just don't like us. They don't like us at all. If we double click on them, it tells you why. Agricultural subsidies, child benefit, clean energy subsidies, all these things are reasons why they don't like us. We do have one cabinet member, so that gives us a little bit of a bonus with them, but for the most part, these folks are not going to be supporting us. And you don't need to have the support of everyone, you know, like with any, with any real society or government, you don't need the support of everyone, but you need the support of the majority, and you need to have it to where the fringe, the extremists don't get so crazy that they take you out. So we have decent support of the socialists in our country, so that's good. And they make up how much? 78% of the population. Okay, so that's good. And we do have 2 sympathetic ministers as well to help us with that. All right, so let's see. So here are all of our constituency bases. Here's our total popularity. Current value 38%. Yeah, not so great. So you have to get over 50% to win the election. So yeah, otherwise, I've only had that happen once though. I managed to get that far, and then lost the election. I'm not that great at this game. I'm not. But I still am having fun regardless. So to me, that means it's a pretty decent game. All right, let's look at the rest of the interface. Top left-hand corner. Now, this is a concept. You'll hear the term political capital. In other words, I want to get something done. Then this is the mechanism for how that's measured. And it's made up of the people that are inside your cabinet. You can see here that they have a number. This corresponds to the political capital total that you have. Right now, we have 26, and we have 26 available. You can save a little bit from turn to turn. And anytime you want to do something, and I'll give you an example. Let's go down here to corporate tax. Okay, let's say I wanted to raise the corporate tax 1%. You can see down here, because it would cost me 19 political capital to raise it, and 10 political capital to lower it. So when you go to make a change, you can adjust the slider bar and you can see the effects that it has above. When you're making a change, you might as well make, the change that you think you're comfortable with without going too far. I've noticed if you go like kind of crazy with stuff, it really, don't do that. That'll completely, your playthrough will end very quickly. I tried doing some kind of quick fix things. Yeah, you have to go in increments, which makes sense over time. But it is important to note that your cost is associated with the movement of the bar. What you change something to, at least what I have seen, doesn't matter. You either have enough political capital to make the change or you don't. It's not relative to what you're changing it to. So if I'm changing it, if I'm lowering it 6%, it would cost me 10. If I'm raising it 1%, it would cost me 19, and it doesn't matter. If I went up to 50%, it's still going to cost me 19. Hopefully that makes sense. No, cancel that and exit out. Here's our current income, 274 billion. Here's our expenditures. So we do have a $3.69 billion deficit. So we're, essentially losing money. We are in debt. Gonna have to take care of that somehow. Here's our intelligence briefing. I'll go up the top here. So we have intelligence briefing. We have opinion polls, our financial data. This is where we can implement new policies. I think this is just achievements. Here's our cabinet ministers. I already showed you this. It's also important to note that if you have, if their loyalty becomes suspect, like if this bar gets really low and they're not doing much for you, you can always fire them and then hire a replacement. Or you can reshuffle the whole cabinet for 10 capital and then hire new replacements. I try to avoid that as much as possible. Maybe I shouldn't, considering my level of success or lack thereof. All right, let's jump into making some changes here. First things first, what do we want to change? Well, these guys are pretty unhappy with us, but I don't know that there's much I can do about that I'm willing to do. Income tax? Well, the problem is if I lower the income tax, right? Let's say I lowered it 1%. I would lose, what is that, a couple billion? Yeah, that's pretty expensive. And I can't do it anyway. I don't have the political capital to... I do to lower it, actually. But I'm not going to. There's got to be something else. Well, we could look at big spending things like military. Well-trained. Yeah, I could lower that a little bit. Get us some money. But the biggest things... Uncompetitive economy... Alcohol abuse, huh? That's a problem? Really? Okay, let's raise the tax on that then. Where you at? Come here. That seems like a decent first step. So what would happen here if we raised it crazy amounts? Oh. Poverty would go up, huh? What? Let's raise it to 25%. That's right. If you drink, you're paying for it. Okay, organized crime. Oh, intelligence services. Okay, let's raise that a little bit then. Like... that? We just need enough to head off the organized crime deal here. High-tech spy services. All right. Okay, we have 10 political capital left this turn. We need to do something about this, too. Environment. Car usage. I could raise gas tax, but it's really unpopular. And it can hurt the economy. Rail usage is not very good. Let's take a look at actual policies up here that we can enact under transportation. Biofuel subsidies. Yeah, see if it costs so much. Bus subsidies. Telecommuting initiative. Hey, let's implement that. Working from home, that's a good idea. That gets people off of the road. And this actually doesn't cost us anything to do? What? Hold on. I think it costs you up front to do it. That's what it is. Yes. Which now I can't do? What? Okay. I guess we'll go to the next turn. We'll try it next turn. Okay, debt protection law. Debt collection agencies have used aggressive methods used to extract payment from people. Limit their ability. Need to address this at some stage. Security briefing. Okay. So here's the threat assessment. Human Rights Society. Yeah. And then here's the crazies down here. Security effectiveness ineffective. Yeah, I'm going to have to get more security, police and whatnot, I guess. We do have a raise on commuter. Okay, that's kind of cool. We have an increase with parents trend. Everything else is stable. Okay. Let's go back to... There we go. Policy details. Let's go here. Commuters. Telecommuting initiative. Oh, it's at medium, so it was enacted. Okay. And it's not costing us that much. Our usage is going down. Well, let's just leave it alone. Well, I guess it is costing us a lot, actually, but if it's working... The biggest issue here is the environment. Power usage is the biggest effect on that. Let's just leave it alone and see what happens. We have 35 political capital. Okay. Can we do something else about this? It's all predicated on this intelligence services stuff. I don't really want to raise it more because then liberals and stuff, they get mad. We need to leave this alone, actually. Border controls. No, let's look at policies. See if there's something else that we can implement. Welfare. Economy. Let's take a look at the GDP thing again. Technology backwater is the problem, huh? So, tech, science funding, huh? Okay. Let's increase science funding some then. Apply change. Okay. Deficit's a problem. Cut the military a little bit. I don't know. We'll try. I will see. Let's go to the next one. Child labor law. Yeah, criminalize child labor. None of that business. None of that business here. No. Let's see. Currently have a minor budget deficit of $3 billion. You like that? That's completely realistic. He's like, sir, we have a kind of a minor budgetary issue. We're short about $3 billion. No big deal. Just $3 billion. Okay. Unemployment. Oh. Okay, what's the problem with unemployment? Why? Oh, because military spending's down. Right. But the GDP is up, it says. Alright, we're just going to give it some time to settle out and see what happens. Homelessness, huh? What do we do about that? State housing, private housing. Wow, okay. Let's go another turn. Well, actually that's a lot of political capital to not use. Should I raise my intelligence services again? That tells me I should. What about the police? Come here, police. That's intelligence services. Where's the police? Right here. Police force. Let's raise you a little bit, shall we? Yep, and then... Where is... Okay, science funding I already raised. What about other education. Oh, that's abortion law. Where's Food Standards Agency? State schools. Let's improve them a little bit, shall we? There we go. Apply. And next. Stress epidemic, huh? People are working too hard. Well, take vacations then. Okay, education's on the rise. Everything else is stable-ish. These guys hate us. Why do you guys hate us so much? What's the problem? Income tax? Okay, I can't do anything about that right now. They hate everything. Seriously, they hate everything. They hate the debt protection law. Whatever. We're not going to prey on the people that can least afford it, you rat bastards. I'm all about being a capitalist, but you gotta be a capitalist with morals, people. Let's see. Oh, goodness. What are we going to do? What's this here? Recycling? Oh, yeah? I don't need to do that. I'm good there. Okay, let's take a look at this. So here's my starting trigger, the value. And here's the stop trigger, technology backwater. So I need this line to cross the stop trigger. And tech. I mean, I've already done the science funding bit. I guess I could raise it again. Okay. And then let's go take a look at policies and see if there's something here that could help. Technology grants. 2 quarters to implement. 800 million. Encourage business to invest in new and exciting technologies. Competitive advantage and create jobs. Can be argued it's an unnecessary distortion of the market. What about robotics research? Better not. Space program? Ridiculously expensive. I'd love to do it, but we can't afford it. Let's go to Mars. No. I actually did that in one of my playthroughs. I was like, yeah, let's go to Mars. And then like it wasn't pretty. Okay, let's do technology grants. And wow, that's expensive. We'll just start at the bare minimum. Apply. Education's down. So I've spent more money and education's going down. That makes no sense. Freedom of information. Yes, propose. What? Potential that we have a law passed. One of check and balances. Average law-abiding citizens should not be spied on or monitored. Right. Government isn't out to spy on everyone, but passing the limits. Increase information held in the databases. Yeah, reject the proposal. Hey, estimated poll rating? 70%? What? Really? I'm kind of surprised by that. Detailed polls. They like me. They really like me. Well, or the socialists do, I guess, and the liberals. And the middle income. Nice. Okay. 43 political capital. Well, what am I going to do with all that? Let's take a look at our cabinet members. What's your problem? How come you're only partially loyal? What's up with that, lady? Wow, super loyal. Yeah, the law and order minister's not. How come you're not loyal? You don't like what I'm doing? You don't like it, lady? Well, tough luck. You're stuck with me. Okay, let's see. What can we change now? Why is alcohol abuse still not going down? Community policing, huh? Wow, that's kind of pricey. Well, let's try. See if we can get rid of alcohol abuse. This is still a problem. The environment. Car usage is still too high. It's coming down. Road building. Oh, if I lower this, I can lower. Hey. The traffic congestion becomes more of a problem. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this anyway, though. Yep, apply. Don't need to be expanding our roads. And then let's go see if we can enact a different policy here under transportation. Limit emissions. Or clean fuel subsidy. Let's do that. Yep. Apply. Next turn. Credit downgraded. Uh-oh, here we go. Not good, people. Not good. Oh, it's because the global economy is in recession. Oh man, $17 billion deficit. Well, and there you have it, people. This is what happens with me every time. I try to take care of the peoples, and I end up going bankrupt, and then I get assassinated. So, if you've got tips or feedback or ideas, you let me know. But I just wanted to give you a look at this this game, Democracy 3. I think it's pretty fun. It's really interesting. And I like the fact that I'm not able to just come in and immediately get good at the game. I think that's what is keeping me playing it, quite frankly. But as always, I appreciate your comments and feedback. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, I'm Mal. And maybe if I survive, I'll see you later.